I stood in my father's living room, my heart pounding as I finally said the words I'd been holding back for years. Dad, I won't have a child with someone I don't love. The silence that followed felt like it could shatter glass. The air between us grew thick with tension, and I watched his expression shift from confusion to disbelief. My father came to this country from Nigeria with nothing but dreams and determination. He worked 3 jobs to put himself through night school, slept on a friend's couch for 2 years, and built a life from absolute zero. I was born here, raised between 2 worlds, always trying to honor both. I grew up listening to his stories about home, about family, about duty and legacy. But that evening, something fundamental shifted between us, and I knew there was no going back. His eyes filled with tears I'd never seen before. My father, who had always been so strong, so unshakable, suddenly looked vulnerable and old. Do you know what I sacrificed? His voice cracked with emotion. The jobs I worked, the humiliation I endured, the dreams I gave up. Also, you could have choices I never had. And this is how you use that freedom. The pain in his voice cut through me like a knife. I wanted to reach out to comfort him, but I stood frozen. Then came the demand I've been dreading for months. You must marry. Give me a grandson. Our family line cannot end with you. You're 32 years old, Marcus. When will you understand your responsibility? I took a deep breath, steadying myself for what I needed to say. I want to adopt, Dad. There's so many children who need homes, who need love. And I won't build a family with someone I don't love just to fulfill an obligation. His face transformed completely. The warmth I'd known my whole life vanished, replaced by something cold and distant that made him seem like a stranger. Selfish, he said, the single word hitting like a physical blow. You're my only son. This is your duty to your ancestors, to me, to everyone who came before you. You're breaking our traditions, he continued, his voice rising with each word. Disappointing everyone who came before you, spitting on their memory. I'm getting old, Marcus. I want to hold my grandson before I die. Is that too much to ask for my only child? The guilt washed over me in waves, but I held firm. That's not a reason to bring a child into this world, Dad. A child deserves to be born from love, not obligation. You think like an American, he said bitterly, shaking his head. You've forgotten where you come from. You've forgotten who you are. That's when I reminded him of something he seemed to have forgotten. But Dad, you loved Mom when you started your family. You had that choice. You chose her because you loved her, not because someone forced you. I'm just asking for the same thing you had. He looked away, disappointment etched into every line of his weathered face. The silence stretched between us like an unbridgeable canyon. Now, I lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, torn between 2 impossible choices. I've always been the good son, the one who made him proud. I got good grades, went to college, built a successful career. The weight of his expectations feels crushing, like I'm carrying generations on my shoulders. But the thought of creating a life with someone I don't love, just to satisfy tradition, feels even worse. How could I look that child in the eyes, knowing they were born from duty rather than love? My phone stays silent. He hasn't called in 3 weeks. Friends tell me he'll come around, that he just needs time, but I'm not so sure. I see the disappointment in his eyes every time I close mine. Am I wrong for choosing my own path? For wanting what he had, love before family? For believing that adoption is just as valid as biological children? The questions haunt me every single day, and I don't know if I'll ever have the answers.